right. Hi, everyone. Today we'll just go through prop firms. What are prop firms? How can we use them? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages of using prop firms? Um, so yeah, let's dive deep into prop firms. So what are we going to do today? I'm going to discuss about prop firms, why we're using them, how to choose a prop firm, what are the criteria you want to keep in mind when you are choosing one. Few trusted prop firms in the industry. I'll just go through. There's a lot of prop firms, but some of them are reliable, some are not. So I'll just go through some of the trusted prop firms that are currently in the industry. Caution, so some of the things that to keep in mind and be careful about, and then we'll head to Q&A. I don't have a lot of slides, so we will have enough time for questions if you all have at the end. All right. So what are prop firms? Prop firm is a financial company that provides traders with capital to trade in financial markets, right, in exchange for a share of the profits. These firms allow traders to leverage significant capital without risking their own, usually requiring passing an evaluation challenge to prove skills and risk management. So there's different types of prop firms. The one I'm going to talk about is the most common one that people are using nowadays, which is like you basically pass a challenge, then you get to a funded account, then you trade the funded account, and then they give you a part of the profits. Why use prop firms? So again, you have access to large capital. So anywhere between like 80 to like maybe $200, you can get an account with a drawdown of somewhere between 2K to 4.5K, right? So if you look at it, you're only putting like, let's say, $100 to buy an account, right? And if you pass the challenge, which you need to, you need to have the skills, enough skills to like pass a challenge, and then you get to a funded account, right? So when you get to a funded account, all you've paid is like a couple of $100, but you're getting drawdown of 2,000 to 4,500, somewhere between those, in that range. If you lose, if you blow up the account, you're only losing a couple $100, right? But on the other side, if you are actually making money, you can withdraw somewhere between 80 to even 100% of the profits. So that is something that is really good, that I feel, if you're starting out, if you're sim trading, or if you don't want to risk your own capital, or if you don't have enough capital, use prop firms. You can leverage them to a good extent, right? Risk management structure. So these prop firms have, like, some of them have like different risk management rules. It can be like a daily drawdown limit, where if you reach that limit, they'll stop you from trading, but you can come back and trade the next day. Things like that, which is, it's not too bad, right? Because it'll help you to be more disciplined, right? Daily drawdown is one example. Another example is like contracts, limit number of contracts, things like that. Um, Consistency rules. So these things are, if you think about it, it makes you a better trader because it makes you more disciplined. You're managing with these set of rules, right? So that's good. Lower personal financial risk. So yeah, I mean, worst case, you have a bad day, you go and tilt, you blow up an account, you're losing $100. I don't. I mean, ideally, we don't want to do that. But again, what I'm trying to say is, you're not you're not out of the game, right? Like, imagine if it's a personal account, you blow up, it can take you months to come back to trading, right? The psychological effects is huge, right? So that is another good reason, to use prop firms. Access to professional environment. So all of these prop firms, they have they have different types of trading platforms. Some have TraderView. You can use TradingView. NinjaTrader, Topstep have their own platform, Topstep X. So you get access to really good professional environment, like dashboards, analytics, risk management tools. Especially, I love Topstep's risk management tools, where you can like lock your risk settings for the whole day. So what I do is, if I know that, okay, I'm gonna risk only $500 a day, even though my drawdown is 2,000, I don't want to risk the whole drawdown and blow up the account in the same day, right? So what I do is I go put my daily loss limit. Okay, I'm gonna risk 500 today. That's it. I'm gonna put that, and then I'm gonna lock the account. So even during the trading day, I cannot touch that. So if I hit 500, that's it. I call it a day. Come back the next day. So these kind of things have really helped me. They have good dashboards, analytics, and things like that. So you get access to those. Psychological benefits I already spoke about. You're not you're not putting your own money in the line, so it's very beneficial for you to like learn, make mistakes, things like that, because it's not easy when you lose your own money. But in this scenario, when you use platforms, it is much more easier. I feel it's the cheapest way to make mistakes, right? Because you will like everybody makes mistakes, right? The earlier you make mistakes, the faster you learn. At least that's what I think. So platforms is the best way to make mistakes, because you blow up an account, you lose $100, no problem. You come back the next day, you learn from what mistake you learned the other day, and then you fix that, and then trade again. You keep getting better. So without risking your own capital, and not trading in sim, because trading in sim is okay. Personally, I don't like trading sim. Like, I wouldn't advise anybody to trade in sim for a very long time, because there's no emotion, right? There's no emotion. Like, you can see a PNL go up and down, no problem, because that's not your money. Even if you make it realized PNL, it's still not yours, right? So Profirm is a good sweet spot in between sim and a personal account. Easy entry for beginners with skill. So yeah, if you have the skill, it's not like a specialized, like, for example, if you're aiming for a good job, you need to give the interview, you need to have some reference and things like that, right? But in this, you don't need to. Like, as I said, a couple of $100, you pay, you get the evaluation account, you have the skill, you pass, you make money, like hundreds and thousands of dollars, no problem, right? Easy entry for beginners with skill. So yeah, these are some of the reasons I think we should be using platforms. Again, it's a personal choice, but I'm just here to like give you some insights on the pros and cons as well. So yeah, how to choose a platform. Reputation and trustworthiness is very important. So I will go through some of the platforms that are reputed, but again, make sure you do your own research. Mm, Payout reliability as well. So these things, this you can go on Trustpilot and check the reviews for each platform to see what are their pros and cons, or what are people saying about the payouts or the rules, transparency, and things like that. I'm also like I also look at X, where people post their experience trading different platforms. So I get a lot of insights from that. So if you're on X, you can trade. You can follow some of the platform influencers, or just people, like, they share their experience of how their payouts were they delayed, or were they time, things like that. Honestly, I've not had any problems with payouts. I've got multiple payouts, no problem. So I think it all depends on what kind of platform you're trading with. You want to trade with good platforms, trusted platforms, reputable platforms, right? Um, Moving on to evaluation rules versus funded rules. That's another thing to keep in mind, because some platforms have different rules for evaluation, and another set of different rules for funded. So again, you go to their website, um, you can see all the rules. Most of the most of the platforms are very transparent about the rules. It's just that you need to do your homework and research, before you buy an account, or even before you choose which platform you want to trade with. So make sure you do that. I'd say if you cannot spend like a couple of hours, like 2 3 hours, just researching the platform that you want to trade, they, you should do that. Like, some people just go buy a platform and then they trade, and then they're like, oh, I didn't know this rule existed. I didn't know that. I was like, you need to know that before you buy. So just make sure you read all of those. I'll briefly go through some of the platforms later on, so that you get an idea. Yeah, and profit split is another thing you wanna check. um, Some prop firms have, most of them have a minimum of 80% right now. So that means if you make $1,000, you get to keep $800 with an 80% split. Some have 90% split. I know, I think Lucid has 90%, Topstep has 90% split, which is good. So the more split, the more money you keep, right? Apex, right now, they have new accounts that has come, so you keep 100% of the profits you make. That is really good. I think right now, from what I know, only Apex is doing that. But yeah, I mean, that's not the only thing you should go with. There's other things, because you want to check the rules and other things, because if you don't like the rules, it doesn't matter how much profit split they provide, right? But all of these are important, as I said. Trading conditions. So yeah, like what are the platforms they're offering? There's a lot of new platforms that has come up recently. I think TradeSeer is one, Wealth Charts is one, along with TraderWeight, of course. So you want to see what platforms they're providing, like NinjaTrader. What are you comfortable with, things like that. Moving on to risk management rules. So yeah, risk management rules, as I said, some accounts have daily loss limit, some don't. Some have daily loss limit and evaluation phase, but once you pass in the funded account, they don't have. So things like that. Another thing would be consistency rule. So, for example, Topstep has a 50% consistency rule in the evaluation phase. That means your single day cannot exceed 50% of the profit requirement, right? So if you buy a 50K account, you need to make 3,000 to pass the evaluation. Now, on a single day, you cannot make more than 1,500. So, yeah, so you have to check these things. But again, these are all transparent, listed on the websites. Don't have to worry. Fees and costs is another thing. So you want to see what are you willing to pay for each account based on the rules. So if you want, maybe you want lenient rules, but you're willing to pay $50 extra, that's fine. Maybe you want a cheaper account, but you're okay with stricter rules. So, things like that. Yeah. Trading style compatibility. That's a very important thing you want to keep in mind. Because okay, this is good. Okay. Trading style compatibility, what it means is things like news trading. Some of the prop firms have restrictions for news trading. Some they will not allow you to hold a position 1 minute or 2 minutes before and after. Is somebody's mic on? Somebody's unmuted.
Sophia. Sophia?
Oh.
$20?
How do I mute?
너 이제 그러면 $10 남은 거야, 이번 달 allowance, okay? $10?
Does anybody know?
Hot mic.
어제도 엄마가 돈 줘. 어제도
think
다시 했잖아,
organizer can do it.
$10.
Who can do it?
Organizer.
Sophia. Rule is a rule.
Who is JH? You need to mute your microphone.
Oh, okay. No, it's good. Thank you. Because I was confused. I was not sure if somebody's asking me a question, or, and then yeah, that's right. So trading style compatibility is things like news trading. So if you're somebody who trades news, and if the prop firm has a restriction that you cannot trade, then maybe that's not for you, right? I mean, I would recommend you not trade news. That's not the right thing to trade, but some people like to trade news. So some prop firms allow you to trade news. Some prop firms will not allow you. Just to when I say will not allow you, they do not allow you to hold any positions 1 or 2 minutes before or after the news. So that's what their restrictions. Another type of restriction can be scalping. So some prop firms have a rule saying that not more than more than 40% of your profits cannot come from trades that have been held for less than, let's say, 10 seconds. So basically, what they mean is at least 60% of your profits should come from trades that have been held for more than 10 seconds. Like things like that. Not all prop firms have that rule. Some prop firms have it. Some are lenient with it. Like it's not a big thing. But if it happens, like if let's say 60% of your profits are coming from trades that are just within 10 seconds, so they might send you a warning, or they might remove those profits that have come from those 10-second trades, only if it's like 60% or more than that. But if you're not a micro scalper, that shouldn't bother you. But if you are somebody who's primarily scalping like 5-10 seconds, then maybe you should go with a prop firm that does not have a scalping rule, right? These are some of the things you want to keep in mind. Customer support and community. Oh yeah, for trading style, another important thing is the drawdown style. So there's two types of drawdowns. One is end of day drawdown, another is intraday trailing drawdown. I have separate slides for that because it is very important you understand that before you purchase an account. So I'll go through that in the coming slides. Customer support and community. This is another important thing. You want customer support, right? You want somebody to respond to you within a few minutes or at least a couple of hours. You don't want to send them an email and if you have an issue, wait for like 3-4 days. That's not good, right? Most of these prop firms have Discord channels. I'm in most of them, which I trade with. So if you are going with any prop firm, I would recommend you join their Discord channel. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. It's just very quick customer service you get there, because most of them are they have a separate section for questions, and they're available like 24/7. So pretty much, if I have any doubt, if I have a doubt on any of the prop firms, I go to the Discord. I just message in the questions tab. I get a response within minutes. So that is very good. Most of them have it. So just make sure you are in the Discord, and any updates, those kind of things, you get it very fast. Transparency, yeah, I mean, they have to be transparent, the rules, right? Make sure they've listed everything on the website. Like there shouldn't be any hidden rules, things like that. But yeah, if it's a reputable firm, they mention everything. But make sure to go. Sometimes they don't mention everything on their first page on the website. So what you have to do is go to their FAQs and read everything. If you type everything, it'll just come up. Like if you want to know about news trading, you just go and like type news trading. It'll show you what are the restrictions for news trading, things like that. Yeah, so the best platform isn't the one with. It's not the one with the biggest account. It's the one whose rules match your trading style and pays reliably. So just don't go by, some prop firm is paying me 100% split, or just don't go by the bigger things. Make sure your trading style is matching with the rules that they have. Because as I said, if you're somebody who likes to hold trades for a longer time, maybe you should not go with intraday trailing drawdown, right? If you're somebody who scalps, maybe you should check the scalping rule. If you're somebody who trades news, you want to see the news restrictions, things like that. So make sure your trading style matches with the rules, because you don't want to change your trading style just to match the platform. That's the last thing you want to do, because you'll mess up your own trading style, and then later when you open up your own personal account, then that will impact your performance, right? You don't want to change anything you're doing. You want to find you want to find a platform that has the rules that is compatible with the, right? So some trusted platforms. Topstep, I mean, it's not in any order, so don't think that Topstep is number one or Apex is number the last or anything. I just put it like a list. So Topstep, my funded futures, funded next futures. Actually, I requested a payout today from funded next. I like one of their plans. I'll go through that later. Take Profit Trader. Take Profit Trader is a good daily payout system, but also they also have another drawback, which is the intraday trailing drawdown. Lucid, Tradify, Apex. Apex got their new accounts, like they changed their rules for their accounts recently. Now they have end of day trading drawdown, which is good. And they also allow you to trade up to 20 accounts. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend to start with 20 accounts, but maybe, eventually you can get there. There are many more. Yeah, as I said, these are just a few. Like nowadays, there's a lot of prop firms coming in. But again, if something is really cheap, just don't go and buy it because you want to make sure they're reliable and they've been in the industry for quite some time. These prop firms that are listed are very, very much trusted and reliable. Like most of them trade. Either I've got like payouts myself, or I know people who've got payouts. Apex was not on my list, but right now, like recently, I think within the last month, they've changed a lot of their structure and their plan. So now it looks interesting. But yeah, these are some of the firms that I can share with you. But again, do your own research. Don't just go by the list. There's many more. Make sure the rules are compatible. That's more important. Yeah, so this is something I wanted to talk about because this is a very important thing you want to consider when you buy an account. There's different types of trailing drawdown, right? Drawdown is again, like when you lose, you're in a drawdown pretty much. So this is intraday, right? So you can see the time of the day here, starting from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Like, so this white line, what you see is your account balance, okay? So for this example, let's say you bought a 50K account, okay? You're starting with 50K, like that's the account size, okay? Now, by 10 a.m., you're up a little bit, right? By 10:30, you're up a little bit. Now, keep in mind that this thing, like the profits is unrealized, okay? Let's say it's unrealized for now. So even though your profits are unrealized, right? Let's say by 10:30, you are up 51K, right? That means on a 50K account, you're up 1K, okay? You have not closed your trade, okay? This is unrealized profit. Even then, if it's an intraday trailing drawdown, it will trail your unrealized profit. That means when you start, you can go up to 48K, because if you go for 48K, your account will be closed, right? Even though they say 50K account, doesn't mean you can lose 50K, right? I'm sure you know that. They have a drawdown. So 50K account, usually most of the firms, they give you a drawdown of 2K. So that means when you start at a 50K account, you can lose $2,000, which is up to 48,000, right? If you lose $2,000, your account is closed, okay? Now, if as I said, at around 10:30, your unrealized is 51,000, okay?
I'm sorry, Amal, to interrupt. I have a question. So if it goes to 48, does it mean that it closed for good, or is it closed for that day?
So if $2,000 is if that's your complete drawdown, that's it. It's closed, not for the day. You're done. You're done.
Oh,
Your
okay.
account is closed.
Okay,
Yeah.
2,000 is a complete drawdown. It's not a daily drawdown.
Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
just giving an example, right? Different prop firms have different rules. But once I go through all of this, you will have some more clarity.
Thank you.
Yeah. So $2,000, what I'm talking about is the entire drawdown. Okay. So in that case, if you lose 2,000, your account is closed, right? Now, some firms have a daily drawdown limit of $1,000. Okay, if they have a daily drawdown of $1,000, then you can lose only 1,000, right? If it goes to 49, then you won't be able to trade for that day. In that case, you can come back and trade the next day for the remaining $1,000 because you have 2,000, right? So they allow you to lose 1,000 one day max, 1,000 one day next. But if they don't have that limit, you can lose 2,000 in a day and blow up your account. Okay, so that's why those limits they're good. Like at least you don't blow up in one day. You lose 1,000, okay, come back and try next day make up that, right? Okay, so let's go back here. Yeah, so you're starting here. If 2,000 is your max drawdown allowed to use in a single day, let's say that if you come here, you lose your account. Okay. Now, what happens for intraday trailing drawdown is that as your unrealized profits goes up, your drawdown also goes up. Okay. That means that at 10:30, if your unrealized profit is $1,000, which is $51,000, you've not logged in the gains. Okay. You're just sitting there unrealized. Now, if this comes back to like 49, your account is closed. So this is a bit tricky because ideally you don't want to go with this intraday trailing, because even though it's unrealized, right? Your drawdown keeps trailing. Like now from 51K, let's say your account goes to 51.5K. All right, your drawdown also increased, closer to probably 49.5K. So this distance will always remain 2K. Okay. But as soon as it hits 52,000, okay, that is, so pretty much you covered your drawdown, right? Your drawdown was 2,000. Now you're up 2,000. Okay. As soon as you hit 52, the intraday trailing drawdown, it locks. So in this case, they've just given a $100 buffer, but let's say it's 50,000. Let's keep this 50,000 for better understanding. So as soon as you hit 52,000, that means as soon as you make your drawdown amount, which is 2,000, it will stop trailing. It will no longer keep going. So if let's say you're at 54, that's fine. This will still stay at 50, because that you've reached your drawdown, right? Like 48 to 50 is your 2K drawdown. So it will not trail from this level. Okay. Do you have any questions on intraday? Is this clear? Or
this is something when your hands are burnt, then only you will understand.
yeah, no, that's true. But make sure you understand this.
I understood because my hands are already burned.
Okay. Like a lot of people only understand once they lose accounts. That is why I'm trying to stress on this, because it's very important that you understand, because otherwise you will just lose accounts because it's not the same, right? But yeah, if you're not able to understand, you can ask me, or you can also go and watch more YouTube channels or examples from other traders to make sure you understand, because this is very important. This is one of the most important rules you want to keep in mind before you buy an account. Okay. So that is intraday. Yeah.
Well, I have a question. So to avoid this, what is the suggested approach on this?
To avoid intraday, I would say go with end of the day trailing. So there's two different types, right? This is the intraday trailing drawdown. Okay. Some platforms have this. Some platforms have end of day trailing drawdown. So I'll explain what is end of day trailing drawdown. Okay. End of day is better anytime. Okay. The reason is, what happens with end of day trailing drawdown is it doesn't matter how much your account goes. Okay. It's like from 50,000, it went to 52,000. It doesn't matter. You still have this big room of, $4,000 to fall back on. It's not trailing like the intraday, right? Even if your profits go up, your drawdown remains same. That means you're up. Okay, you're up 52,000. Okay, that's good. Now, when will you blow up your account? You'll only blow up your account if you come back all the way to 48. So the initial 2,000 has become 4,000, right? So end of day is much better because it's not trailing with your P&L, right? So as I said, some platforms have intraday, some platforms have UAD.
There's temporarily disbarred.
You're dealing with a lot of snow. We know.
Yeah, we are prepared to embrace that.
Yeah, I have a question, Amal. Sorry. Basically, the trailing drawdown, is it an everyday thing? So like the next day you come in, it starts at 52, and it can go to 54 and then stop there. So it will keep going up and up and up if your P&L keeps rising.
For the intraday?
Yes.
No, so as I said, as soon as it hits 50K, it will stop there. It will not go
Okay.
beyond that. Yeah.
All right. So it will always be at 52, even though you might be at 100,000, for example.
Yeah, even if you make 54, 55, your trailing drawdown will stay at 50.
Okay.
The
Okay.
reason 50 is because that was your drawdown, right? Like 2000 was your drawdown. So once you reach
Yeah.
2000, then it will not move
Yeah.
up.
Basically, they don't want you to come and lose the 2,000.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
so if you are going with intraday trailing drawdown, you have to be very careful until you make 2000, right? Once you make 2000, then it won't move further.
Right.
Yeah. So your first $2,000, you have to be very careful, right? You have to like scalp because your price cannot come lower, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
So
Amal,
I'll go with another example.
I have an observation here.
Yeah.
So I got this Apex trailing drawdowns like a few weeks back, and my account went till 2,500, and then I lost, and it came to 500, but they still closed my account.
Yeah, like which account size was it?
50K.
Yeah, maybe the rules are different. So I'm just talking in general, like to
Okay.
understand. Every prop firm will have a different rule. So I'll have to look into it. Like I've
Right.
not traded with Epic, so I'm not very sure about their rules. But we'll have to like look into that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I cannot talk for all prop firms
Yeah,
because
correct.
all the rules are different. I'm just giving like an idea about what is intraday.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
So this one's the second example here. So same thing, you start at 50K, you make, as you make 51K, your drawdown trails. Once you cross 52K, then it stays the same, right? 50K. So yeah, now if you're 54K, you come back. If you come back and hit 50K, your account will be closed. But for end of the day drawdown, you still have 40. You still have the room, right, to lose your $2,000. So that's some examples there. So what happens if you like lose, right? If you lose, your drawdown remains the same. They're not gonna make it go lower. Like when it goes up, it goes up. It doesn't go more low. So if you're down on the day, it stays the same. But as soon as you start making profit, it starts trailing. So that's why I don't like this. It's very bad. It's a very bad thing. It messes up your trading style, because if you're trying to scalp and very scared about unrealized profits coming back, that is just added stress, right? Trading is already stressful. You don't want to go and make it more difficult for yourself, right? So always I would prefer go with end of day trailing drawdown. It's clearly mentioned on the website, so you don't have to worry. If it's intraday trailing, just avoid it. Like especially when you're starting, you don't wanna take this intraday trailing. Just go with the end of the day. Things are much more simpler, right? Copying multiple prop firms. So again, I wouldn't recommend you start with a lot of accounts. Like don't go and buy 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts and just blow up, and that's not the way to do. I'm just showing how you can copy trade once you start getting payouts, and if you want to scale to like multiple accounts. This is what I use. It's called Trade Copier. I pay, I think, around 40. I think I pay $40 a month. I pay for this just to copy trade my account. So you can see like this is my leader account. These are my follower accounts, right? So when I trade, I trade on my Topstep platform because I'm comfortable with it. I like the risk settings of Topstep, so I always trade on Topstep, even if I don't have even if I'm not trading a funded Topstep account. I still trade like a demo Topstep account just because I can copy that to my other funded accounts. I only like to trade on the Topstep platform. So this is my leader account, and then every other account, all my TraderWeight or NinjaTrader accounts, I just keep as followers. So pretty much whatever I take on my Topstep dashboard will just copy to the other accounts. But there are other trade copiers. If you're interested, there is Replicanto that is by, I think, supported by NinjaTrader. It's cheaper as well. But the only reason I'm not using it is because I cannot trade on Topstep platform and copy on other platforms. So that is why I trade with Trade Copier. But you can use Replicanto. It's good. I think there's another one called Trade Syncer. It is also somewhat like this. But I tried Trade Syncer. I didn't like it. I took the trial version, but I didn't like it. So I'm using this. So far, it's good. If you want to try, there's a 7-day free trial. You can try it out if you are copying multiple accounts. But initially, I would say just focus on one account. Just buy one account and try to get a payout. Once you get a payout, use that money to buy maybe another account and then slowly scale. Okay, don't go and buy 10 accounts and try that at once. That's not a good idea, trust me. All right. So, caution.
Sorry, Amal, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what is the advantage of using multiple prop account? Because the strategies are same, right? So you just have to increase the risk to get the same money on the one account, right? So just want to understand, like, what is the reasoning behind having multiple prop firm accounts?
So, from what I understand, the reason, like the main advantage of having multiple prop firm accounts is that you can split your risk, right? Like for example, I have one 50K account, right? Now, if I have one 50K account, I only have $2,000 of drawdown, right? Like if I go down 2,000, I'm out. Like I lost the account, right? So if I want to make 2,000, let's say, for example, if somebody is, somebody goes with 1:2 risk reward, right? So somebody is risking 2,000 to make 4,000. Okay. So on a 50K account, if I want to make $4,000, I have to risk $2,000, right? I'm just giving an example. Thinking, assuming that it's a 1:2 risk reward. Okay. So I'm risking 2,000 to make 4,000. Now, if I risk 2,000, what will happen? If I lose 2,000, my account will be blown, right? So what happens when you copy on multiple accounts? Let's say I'm copying on 20 accounts, okay? If I'm copying on 20 accounts, I can risk 2,000 by just risking $100 per account, right? If I risk $100 in one account, I'm spreading my $2,000 risk across 20 accounts, right? So my chances of blowing up that account is very low because I have $2,000 drawdown. I'm only risking $100, right? To make $200, that's fine. If I make $200 on one account, that's $4,000 on 20 accounts. So the main idea of copy trading is you're spreading the risk. Your chances of blowing up is less, provided you trade less. You cannot go and risk like $1,000, $2,000. I mean, you will be out in one or two trades. But if you risk $100 or $200, even if you make $400 on one account, that is what, $8,000 on 20 accounts, right? So yeah, that's I think the main advantage. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you so much. Very clear.
Yeah, problem. So I'll move on to the next slide, which is okay. So we spoke about the benefits initially, right? I want to talk about some things to be careful about platforms. So strict evaluation or funded rules. So again, as I said, make sure you read the rules. It's not like the rules are not insane or the rules are not like pathetic. I would say like there are rules. It is very manageable as long as you know them, as long as you have a game plan, right? For example, you're trading an account that has $2,000 drawdown. It also has, let's say, a daily loss limit of $1,000. So yes, you can lose 2,000, but on a day you can only lose 1,000, and then another day 1,000. Okay. on an account like that, you cannot go and risk 5 minis. I mean, you cannot go and trade 5 minis, right? You get what I'm saying, right? Prop firms will give you contracts. They'll give you max 5 contracts for a $2,000 drawdown. But you should know that if you trade 5 contracts, you will just blow up your account like that. If if the price is not going in your favor, that's a lot of contracts for a very small drawdown. So prop firms will give you, they will say, yeah, you can trade with max 5 contracts and things like that. But you need to know, okay, if my drawdown is $1,000 max in a day, how much am I willing to lose? Okay, I'm okay to lose $500. If I have to lose $500, then I have to, maybe trade micros. Like I like to trade micros because minis, if I trade minis, chances of blowing up is high because you don't have a big drawdown. So things like that, if you understand how to go about with the rules, then it's fine. So make sure you do that. Another one, evaluation fees adds up, right? So this is another important thing. As I said, do not go and buy 5, 10, 20 accounts initially, just because if you are new to prop firms, you will blow up, right? Your chances of blowing up is high because no matter how good a trader you are, you need to understand the rules and things like that. So go with one account, get a payout. Even if getting a payout takes time, that's okay. For me, it took 2 months to get my first payout, right? So for 2 months, I did not have a single payout, right? Because I was trying to understand like how to trade and things like that. So don't go and buy multiple accounts initially. Please listen to me because I have done a lot of mistakes myself because I went and bought like 5 accounts, because when you think about it, you do the math, right? Oh, if I make $1,000 on one account, that's 5,000 on 5 accounts, that's 10,000 on 10 accounts. Yes, it is, but it's you don't do that. Like you don't make like $1,000 on your first account, right? Maybe you might, but again, keep your risk low. Because before if you copy trade 5 accounts, you blow up 5 accounts, you lose like $500, $600 at once, right? So you don't want to do that. Just take it easy, take your time, get to a payout, use that money to buy more accounts. Like always play with the house money. Don't go and risk too much of your money. Restrictive trading rules. Yeah, so again, we spoke about these, like what are the restrictions. Make sure you read the rules properly. Rule changes, some prop firms, they change the rules, things like that. There was one prop firm I traded with. Luckily, I got a payout, but they had a retroactive rule change. That means they changed the rules right in between an account. It was not a good prop firm. So the prop firm is no more there. They shut down completely. But again, go with reputed prop firms. You don't want them to change the rules in between an account, right? Because you bought an account thinking these are the rules, and all of a sudden they say, oh no, from tomorrow we're changing the rules. So those things are to be avoided. But again, go with reputed firms. They won't change, like they don't have retroactive rule changes. If they change a rule, that will be forward coming. Over reliance on prop firm. So yeah, so again, the end goal should be to trade your own account, because you want to get to that level where you have that capital, you have that confidence to trade your own account. Only use prop firms to to maybe save up more money or make some mistakes and learn, level up your confidence and things like that. As long as prop firms are there, it's a good opportunity. Definitely, you're not spending too much, and the upside is way big. You can make thousands, even $100,000 a month is possible with prop firms. So take advantage of it. But again, don't try to exploit the thing. Some people just try to gamble, because they think, oh, it's only $100 and I just like trade without any strategy and like just pure gambling. Those kind of things you want to avoid. Make sure you have a strategy, and your end goal is always to fund your own account and trade on them. Yeah, so prop firms offer opportunity, but only for traders who can manage strict rules, pressure, and risk consistently. So yeah, as I said, if you have the skill, there's no limit. You can make a lot of money, because I've seen traders make like 100 100,000 plus every month just from prop firms. So it is possible. It is possible to do that, save up for your own personal funds, right? But again, yeah, if you want to gamble, go to the casino. Don't try to gamble here. It is, yeah, you might end up making money. There are people who just try to gamble and because you get an account for $100, right? You risk the whole drawdown. Let's say you risk $2,000. Maybe you're lucky, right? Maybe you're lucky you make 4,000, 5,000. But that's not helping you, right? That's not helping you become a good trader or anything like that. And when you fund your own account, what will happen? Probably you'll blow up that even worse. So always take it in the right spirit. Like make sure you have good trading discipline, rules, and all of those things. And make sure you, along with that, if you make sure you trade the right way, prop firms are definitely a good platform to make money. Also learn good skills. So I think yeah, that's all I had. But I can share some prop firms quickly. We have time. Just give me a second. Mhm. All right. So this is one of the platforms that I mentioned earlier. It's called My Funded Futures. So if you go to the website, you can see they have different plans. 25K account, 50K account, 100 up to 150K. Even on, so if you click on 50K, they have different plans within 50K. There's a rapid plan. So this has daily payouts. This has, yeah, this is a pro account. So in this particular account, yeah, so you can go, yeah, of course. You talk, we cannot hear you. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so like these are different plans. Like on the pro plan, they give you up, like there's a payout cap of $100,000. So that's the maximum I've seen in the industry. Meaning from one single account, you can withdraw $100,000. That is insane. You're spending $100 here. So that is the potential. Like if you have, as I said, if you have the skill, you can make really good money. So yeah, these plans are different rules. You can always go to the website, read all of this. I'm not going to go in detail because we don't have so much time. I'll just go maybe a couple of other platforms as well, and then we can have the questions if you have. Okay, funded next. This is another platform. I currently have their Bolt challenge. I like this because it has daily payouts. It has end of the day drawdown. It also has a daily loss limit, which I like. Initially I was going with accounts that did not have this because I felt it is restricting. It is restricting us traders because you cannot like risk more than that. But then I understood that it is a good thing, right? Because you only have a max loss limit of 2,000. Risking even $1,000 a day is risking 50% of your drawdown, which itself is a big amount, right? So I try to keep my risk maybe $500 a day max. Yeah, so this is one of the accounts I have. They have a couple of other accounts as well. You can go through that. Different rules, some has consistency, some does not, and things like that. Some has a daily loss limit. For example, this account that does not have daily loss limit, as you can see. That was funded next, and then what do we have? Let me share another one quickly. Okay, lucid trading. Okay. So this is also a good platform. They have different types of accounts. So some platforms also have a direct account. So you see, these are expensive. The reason why they're expensive is because there's no evaluation. Like you get funded right away. So, but these are expensive. I wouldn't recommend this because if you cannot pass an evaluation, why do you think you can directly go buy these expensive accounts and pass? I mean, and get paid out, right? So go with evaluation accounts. They're cheaper. Prove your skill, and then you get your funded and then make things, right. These are and it's not only expensive, the rules are stricter because you have to think about it, right. You're getting a funded account directly without even passing an evaluation. So definitely the rules are much stricter. So I wouldn't recommend these, more expensive as well. But yeah, these are some other options that you have. Yeah, so just go through the platforms. I won't go through all of them, but make sure you do your research, go to the website and understand the rules. For now, I think I'll take if we have any questions. I'm sure we'll have. So um, let's see what we have. Okay. Let's Tanushan, you wanna go first? Not sure who first. Okay. Could you please explain about the evaluation? Which evaluation? Is there any specific platform or? Okay, I'll go with the next question then. Next, who do we have? Sumit, you wanna go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Amal, I think Vinay also mentioned in the chat, please explain what happens after the evaluation. Like once you go into the next stage, do we have to have some more buffer, or like how it goes?
Okay, I think Vinay asked about Topstep, so I'll go through Topstep because see, the thing is every platform have their own rules and things like that. So I cannot go through every platform, but I'll quickly share maybe Topstep and we can see how that goes about, right?
Sure.
Okay. So yeah, so you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So Topstep, so these are evaluation accounts, right? They have three types: 50, 100, 150K. Now there's two types here. You can see standard and you can see no activation fee. So if you go with the standard, you can buy a 50K account for just like $49 a month. Okay, but you have to pay an activation fee of 149 once you pass. So you only pay 49. Okay, you get an evaluation account. Now the evaluation account has a profit target of 3,000. You need to make 3,000 without losing 2,000. Okay, they do not have a daily drawdown, so you can lose up to 2,000 in a single day. But if you lose, you lose the account. But you have the opportunity to. I mean, you are able to lose that because they don't have a daily drawdown. But yeah, so in this standard, the thing is you pay 49. On passing, you pay 149. Okay, but on the no activation fee type, you pay 109 straight up. That's the only payment. So there's no activation fee. So if you're confident that you are going to pass, or I mean, you cannot guarantee 100%, but at least there's a high chance you pass in one or two attempts. You can go with the no activation fee because you'll save up money. You're gonna spend only $109. But if you're not sure, it's your first attempt, you don't know if you're gonna go pass, maybe just go with this. And if you pass, you pay 149. Yeah. Now this is evaluation. Once you pass this, you get a funded account. Again, it's pretty much, there's no profit target because it's a funded account, but everything else is pretty much the same. This is again Topstep's payout policy on the funded account. So once you get funded, they'll ask you two things. I mean, there's two options that you can choose. One is you can choose a funded consistency account, or you can choose an express funded standard account. Okay. On the consistency path, you only need 3 days of profit. Like you need to make like 3 days with 40% consistency. So you need to trade 3 days with a 40% consistency. That means if you make $1,000 in total, you cannot make more than $400 in a day. So if you make more than $400 in a day, then you make more. Just to make sure that any single day cannot have more than 40% of your total profit.
Okay.
That is with the consistency path. Okay. The advantage is that you can take a payout within 3 days. Within 3 days, you can request a payout if you make money. But on the downside, you have a 40% consistency target. Okay. Also, you can request up to $6,000. Request up to 50% of your account balance with a 90-10 split. Okay. On the standard path, there's no consistency, so you can make $5,000 a day, no problem. But you need to make at least $150 for 5 days so that you can withdraw 50% of the account balance with a max payout of 5,000. So yeah, here you can make max 6,000, here 5,000. Here you have consistency. I don't like consistency because sometimes you have big trades, winning trades. You want to hold longer. You don't want to worry about consistency, or is my day less than 40%, things like that. So I like to go with the standard plan because there's no consistency. But both gives you a 90 split. So yeah, you can
There is
find
no
these.
target. So for standard plan, there's just $150, which means $150 if I make for 5 days per day, then I can ask to withdraw, right? There's no target that I have to make some $2,000 by end of 5 days.
No. There's no target in any path. Like in funded accounts, there's no target. Like as you can make as much. I mean, the more you make, the more you can withdraw. But again, you can only withdraw 50% of your account balance at once. So, let's say on the standard path, you make $5,000 in 5 days because you need to have 5 days of minimum $150, right? So let's say you make $5,000 after 5 days of minimum $150. So let's say it's your first day, you make $5,000 on your first day. You hit a big trade. So if you want to request your payout, what you need to do is you need 4 more days, right? 4 more days of at least $150. So risk small, make 150, 150, 150. As soon as you hit this 5 days of at least $150, you take 50% of your account. So if your account balance, let's say 6,000 at the end of 5 days, you can request $3,000 with a 90% split. So $3,000 with a 90% split, you get to keep 2,700 like that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is about Topstep. Again, so when they say funded account, okay, it is still a simulation account. You're not interacting with the markets live. Like there's no orders being placed on the live markets. The funded account is still simulated. The only thing is they will pay you. Like the prop firm pays you from their capital. Okay. If you consistently keep taking payouts from the funded account, then they will analyze your trading, and if they feel that you are really good, they will move you to their live accounts. Live accounts is where you actually interact with the live markets. But that, I think, only about 1% of the traders they call for live trading. That is if you consistently keep taking money from them. You consistently perform well in funded accounts, and you keep requesting payouts. At one point, they cannot just keep paying you from their capital, right? So they'll be like, okay, hey, you're trading good, you're consistent. We want you to move live. So when you move live, that's when the prop firms also benefit, right? Because you're actually trading in the live market, and any profit you make, 10% the prop firm keeps. So, they make money like that as well without even trading. So you trade, you keep 90%, they take 10%, things like that. So yeah, so the how it works is evaluation. You pass the evaluation, you get the funded account. Funded account is still SIM, right? Similar to evaluation, it's still SIM, but they pay you from their capital. But if you keep consistently requesting payout, they move you to live. But again, you need to be really good. I've heard maybe top 1% of the traders only make it to live. So yeah. Okay, any more questions? Yeah.
Do you have a live account? Because I'm very unclear about like the funded versus the live account.
No, so I don't have a live account. So they have different prop firms have their own criteria for moving live accounts. So it depends on a lot of things like some prop firms they need at least 5 payouts on a single account. So you have to request at least 5 payouts from one single account so that you can so then they can even review you for live accounts. Things
But
like that.
I don't understand. If you're not trading live, then where are they paying you from?
They just pay from their own funds. Like they make a lot of money, right? By people buying their valuations and things like that. So they just pay you from. I mean, it's just their money. Like from the profits they make, they pay you a little bit.
So if you made $25,000, they have to give you 90% of that.
Yeah, they give 90% of it. Like I have requested around 40,000.
Even though it's not a live account, you didn't actually made that money.
Yeah, like I've myself got like just around 40,000 just from Topstep alone. So they just paid me. But you have to like they make a lot of money. Like even though they pay people, they're still in profit. That's the business model. Because a lot of people just buy, gamble. They never get to pay out. So that's how they make money. So if they make let's say if they make $100,000, right? Or let's say if they make $1 million, they don't mind giving us 500,000 traders, right? They still make money.
Right. Yeah, because not that many traders get to the payout.
Yeah, as I said, see, there's a lot of people. Most of the people, they just try to gamble. They just try to buy accounts, cheap accounts. They blow up. So not everybody gets to pay out. So the business model works for them. So, but as long as you stay disciplined and you request payouts, they pay you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
I had a question about actually the evaluation phase. The evaluation, like how long do you have to go through the evaluation, like to get the 3,000 profit target?
So I mean, for some firms you can do it in a day. I mean, if you make 3,000 in a day, you pass the evaluation. But for Topstep, they have a 50% consistency rule, so you cannot make more than 1,500 a day. So you can pass in 2 days. You can make 1,500 today. You can make 1,500 tomorrow, and you pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it has to be at least 2 days, you say?
For Topstep, yes. So if they have a consistency rule, then you have to follow that. But some prop firms say 1 day to pass. So if they say 1 day to pass, you can risk 2,000 and make 3,000, no problem. Like if you're okay with that, you can pass in a day.
Okay. And the evaluation account has the same capital, right? Like if you're going 50K, they will give you 50K to play with.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. I'll go through some questions. Mahi is asked, they have 2 drawdowns, like one for daily drawdown, suppose 1K per day max, and overall account drawdown 3K max. Yeah. I mean, they have overall. So if they have a daily drawdown, if they have 1K daily drawdown, that means you can only lose 1K, but you won't lose your account. If the total drawdown is 2K and you lose 1K today, you can come back tomorrow and you still have that remaining 1K. So daily drawdowns are not, that won't blow up your account. You still have the remaining drawdown that you can come and trade the next day. Intraday trailing window decreased because it also counts the unrealized profits. Intraday trailing window decreased because it also counts. Yeah, that's true. Can we copy trade between two different platforms like Funded Next and Topstep? Yeah, I do that. That's possible. But again, you need a trade copier. So you need to have a trade. I use a trade copier called Trade Copier. I mean, it's a paid trade copier. So you need to have a trade copier to do that. Please talk about what happens after successful evaluation. Okay, that is done. So I'll move on to next. Second, my mind has a problem. Anyway, my question was related to trade copier. Okay, let's say you have to account 150K and 100K. When you trade on 100K or 10 contracts, does it propagate 5 contracts? Yes, so the trade copier software that I use has a multiplier factor. So if I'm trading up on a 50K account and my follower is a 100K account, I can put the multiplier as 2. So if I take one contract on 50K account, it will copy 2 contracts on a 100K account. So you can do that. Like if I take 5, it will copy 10, right? You can put the multiplier. If you put multiplier as 3, it will go 3 times. Could you please explain about the evaluation? How prop firm evaluation before? Yeah, so evaluations, as I mentioned, they have rules and things that you can go on their website, have a look, very clear. If you have any questions, just go to their Discord. As I said, go to the Discord channels. They have a separate section for questions. Just go there and ask them. That's the best way. I think you can get some answers on very quickly. Evaluation, how do you still pay the monthly fee in funded? No. So funded accounts, like most of the prop firms that I've shared in the presentation, none of them charge you a monthly fee for funded. So once you're funded, no problem. You can take your time. There's no monthly fee. The only thing you want to be careful is some prop firms have something called as inactivity rule. I don't know if I mentioned earlier. So so Funded Next, for example, they don't have a monthly fee, but they have an inactivity role for their challenge account. So meaning they want you to place at least one trade in one calendar week. So if you don't trade for the entire week, they'll cancel your account. These are the rules you want to be aware of, right? So Lucid has 30 days. My funded futures is 7 days. So they want you to make at least one trade. It can be like one micro, they don't care, but they want to see an activity in that certain period. That's another thing. Just make sure you check that inactivity rule so that you don't lose an account that way. During the evaluation, is there any profit limit you should make per day? No, there's no profit limit. I mean, you can take your time. You can make $100. You can make a $50. As long as your end goal is reaching $3,000. That's all they care about. There's no minimum profit limit as such. Andrea, thanks Amal for the presentation. How many days did it take to pass the combine? So I don't like to take more than 5 trading days. So pretty much a week. That's what I try to pass, because you don't want to spend a lot of time in combines, because trading combine is evaluation for anybody else who does not understand. There is Topstep's evaluation that is called trading combine. So I don't like to waste a lot of time on evaluation. So I usually pass evaluations in 3 to 5 days, sometimes more, but on an average 3 to 5 days, because I don't see a point in spending a lot of time on evaluations because you're not getting paid there. You just have to pass. Try to get to the funded account as soon as possible. And that's where you make money. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend you trying to make $50, $100 a day and try to pass an evaluation in a month or two. Don't do that. I mean, yeah, you will. I mean, you can risk a bit higher in evaluations, I feel, because again, you're not making any money there. So the earlier you get to a funded, that's good. But again, don't risk the entire drawdown and try to blow up. Personally, on evaluations, I like to risk about 25% of my drawdown. So if it's a 50K account, if I have a $2,000 drawdown, I'm okay to risk $500. I try to risk 500 to make 1,500, right? So that's a 1:3 risk reward trade. If I make 1,500, that's it, I'm done because of the 50% consistency rule, right? And I come next day, I risk a $500, I try to make $1,500, and I pass, right? So if you risk 25% of your drawdown, you still have to have 4 losing trades in a row to blow up, right? I know that my strategy, it is very rare that I have 4 trading days in a row. So so I'm comfortable risking 25%. And if it happens, it's fine. It's okay. I just accept. But it's rare that I have 4 losses in a row. So I risk about 500. But that's up to you how much you want to risk. About 7% get to payouts, and about 1% get to live accounts from Google search. Live accounts I think it's accurate, but payout, I think definitely it depends on the prop firm. So if you want to know these stats, you can go to the prop firm. On the bottom, there'll be a lot of small writings where they'll write about the risk and things like that. Most of the established prop firms write how much % of their traders are passing the evaluations, how much % are getting payouts. So you can see those stats. I'm sure Topstep shows that. I think Apex also shows that. So yeah, some of the old established prop firms, you can go to the website and get the exact stats for those prop firms on how many people are passing, how many people are getting payouts and things like that. Business model requires more unsuccessful people than successful people. Yeah, so you have to understand, how prop firms make money. If you blow up an account, they will send you an email immediately saying, "Oh, we're sorry you blew up an account. Here's 10% discount for you. Here's a reset you can take for a 10% discount." They want you to blow up. They want you to reset your accounts. They want you to just gamble. Very important you understand that, because don't do that. You wanna milk the prop firms, you wanna make money from them, but you never want to be on the other side where they take advantage of you. No. We're going to take advantage of that. So that should be your attitude, and that should always be in your mind. Never go on tilt and keep buying accounts and keep resetting accounts, and no, don't do that, okay? Because that's how they work. That's how they make money. That's what they want you to do. But don't do that. Just be very, very disciplined. Just because you're risking $100 doesn't mean you just go on tilt and just keep buying accounts and blowing accounts, right? Yeah, the rules are made to make you lose and keep buying. Yeah, exactly. But again, like, if you know what you're doing, if you know the rules and you have a game plan, as I said, this is my win rate, these many losses I can take in a row, so okay, I can risk 20% of the account. If you have those kind of things in your mind, you will be fine. But make sure you have a game plan on your risk management is the important thing. Also, trade micros, don't go with minis, because I would say risk small, because if you risk high, your chances of blowing up are higher, right? The rules are made. Okay, that's done, got it. Okay.
I also have another question. Is there a restriction on what you can trade?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
basically futures, stocks,
So
golds,
most of them are just they only allow futures. But you can trade gold. You can trade metals. You can trade oil. You can find that list in the website. I only trade ES and NQ. I mean MES and MES and MNQ. That's all I trade. So I don't really know. But I'm sure I know they allow metals and oil and most of the futures they allow. But you can just go on the website to see to get a list.
and you can trade 23 hours a day, right? There's
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
They want, most of them want you to close by some platforms want you to close by 4:10 Eastern. Some allow you to close till 5 Eastern. But pretty much 23 hours is what all platforms allow you.
Okay.
Hey, Amal,
And
can
so-
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, great presentation. Thanks for this information. I have a question about the funded accounts. You mentioned once you go to funded, you don't have any monthly fee and you can get any number of payouts and there's no profit limit. Is that right?
Yeah. So again, it depends on the platforms, but I think almost all of the platforms that I mentioned, they do not charge monthly fee. Again, rules might change. Just make sure you check. But I would say 90% of them, like, they don't have a monthly fee for funded accounts. And yes, you can keep like you can take payouts, but they do have like they have a cap, right? Like you cannot, for example, Topstep accounts, they only pay you max $5,000. After that, you need to like repeat the minimum 5 days or things like that to make another payout. But if you are interested in bigger payouts, check out the Pro account by My Funded Futures. You can withdraw up to $100,000 in a single payout. That's really good. I like that feature. Not all platforms allow you to do that, but yeah, that's pretty much it. No monthly fee for most of the funded accounts on platforms.
So once you get a funded account, you are pretty much set, it sounds like. Hey, I have a question about Trade Copier. Do you trade using the Trade Copier or do you use the Topstep platform to trade and then the Trade Copier automatically copies for you?
Trade Copier, it only copies. I trade on the Topstep dashboard.
Okay. So so you keep doing new evaluation accounts to get more accounts. That's why you are doing more evaluations.
No, I mean,
So you have more than one account, right? You have multiple accounts and you have been doing evaluations after you get funded. So you have more number of accounts to trade on.
No, I mean, I trade funded. I copy trade funded, so I trade like 5-6 funded accounts at once, like that.
Oh, so you have done 5-6 evaluations and you already have 5-6 funded accounts and you're just copying those trades between them. Okay,
Yeah. But
okay.
if you're trading only Topstep allows you to copy 5 accounts at once. So you can copy up to 5 accounts with Topstep. You can have 5 Topstep funded accounts. You can copy trade them and you can take up to $5,000 in payouts. So you can request up to 25,000 payouts at once from 5 to 25, right? So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I got a Lucid account. I'm just on the evaluation, trying it out. I haven't tried the Topstep yet.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Amal.
Yeah, no problem. I saw our next platform posting with names who made 70-80K, like 8 million already paid out in March, something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of people like making a big money in this, even just Apex, right? If you copy trade 20 accounts, I think on 50K, they allow you to take 1,500 max in one payout. So, if you buy 20 accounts on one account, if you get 1,500 payout, that's $30,000, just like that, like within a couple of days. It's possible. I mean, people are doing it. The only thing, you need to get there is your psychology, because when you trade 20 accounts, you have to be okay with taking small losses across 20 accounts and not mess up with your psychology. So it is very much possible. Actually, I have plans to like try the 20 accounts with Apex, but I'm just slowly getting there. Right now, I'm comfortable. I know that I'm comfortable right now trading 5 to 6 accounts funded. So I'm like slowly trying to scale, try to get to 10 accounts and like, yeah, I don't want to just go and try 20 right now, but yeah. Once we hit the max drawdown and evaluation, can we continue with same prop firm again with buying the account? Yeah. I mean, they don't care how many times. The more number of times you buy accounts with them, the more profit they make, right? So you can fail as many times as you want, and you can still go and buy an account. No problem with that.
Actually, sorry, Serkan had a question. He says, let's say you have 2 accounts, one 50K and one 100K. When you trade on 100K with 10 contracts, does it prorate to 50K with 5 contracts?
Yeah. I already answered that. You can do that.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
There's a multiplier option. So if you trade 50K, if you trade 5 contracts on 50K, if you wanna send 10 contracts to your 100K account, you can just put the multiplying factor by 2. So it will take twice the contracts. If you want to take 3 times, you just put it 3 and it will multiply by 3 times. Yeah. Any other questions? I hope you've got some idea right now about prop firms. I hope it is useful. If you have any questions, I can take.
So would you recommend going with 50K or 100K account?
I think it's a personal choice because you have to. The good thing is you get a larger drawdown, right? On 100K you can lose 3,000, but on a 50K you can only lose 2,000. But passing wise, it's easier to pass a 50K because you have $2,000 drawdown. You only need to make 3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
You only need to make 1.5 times of your drawdown, right? But on a 100K and a 50K, you need to make 2 times of your drawdown, right? 3,000 is your drawdown, and you need to make double, which is 6,000. Same with 150, right? 4,500 is your drawdown. You need to make double, which is 9,000. But on 50K, you don't need to make 4,000. You only need to make 3,000. So passing wise, it's easier to pass a 50K. But if you really want a larger drawdown, maybe you can go with 100K, 50K, 150K.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I think we're good then. Yeah, so if you are planning to get an account, all the best. Just take it slow. Don't rush the process. Take your time to get the payout. Once you get your first payout, you'll be more confident and you will be able to, okay, maybe take 2 accounts and copy trade and things like that. But definitely only trade a single account if you're starting off that way. Okay. Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate it. If you need any help, just message me. Even later on, I can help you from what I know. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good day.